Good morning, everyone. Mike Flanagan here from InsideBowling.com and Storm Bowling Products. I'd like to welcome you into the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open here at Maple Lanes here in Waterloo, Iowa. It's our third time coming to Waterloo and being part of these great events that Joe Engelkes and his entire team put on for you. It's early in the morning here. 3 squads are qualifying today, 7 games out on the lanes. A squad, B squad, and C squad. We've got a lot of great names here coming up for you throughout the day. A lot of coverage. Today's also Masters Saturday, where we're going to see who all the qualifiers are that make it to TV tomorrow, and you can watch our friends over at Extra Frame for that. But today we're here, as I said, in Waterloo, Iowa for this great event that Joe Engelkes and his crew puts on. I'm going to take you out to the lanes. Got a couple of pairs for you early this morning. Take you out to lanes 5 and 6 and lanes 13 and 14. For our first few shots here this morning for A squad qualifying. On the left side of your screen on lanes 5 and 6, you're going to see Zach Livingston, Joe Mescher, Mike McCow, and Andrew Zog. On lanes 13 and 14 this morning, Andy Below, Chris Freeman, Mark Prosen, and Jim Sonneson. It's going to be a long day of bowling here, and we're happy to have you with us here on our Inside Bowling broadcast. Maple Lanes is always one of the places we like to come and visit, and we love coming and streaming from here. They treat us really, really, really well when we come here and we're part of this. Today's oil pattern is 39 feet. I believe it was posted as a 2.3 to 1 ratio, very demanding lane condition. This tournament sells out every year. And today we're short just a couple of bowlers due to some weather. 32 lane bowling center, 64 bowlers a squad. I believe that's 192. So a few short here this morning though, as I said, just getting underway. Welcome everybody into the chat this morning. If you have any questions for us, feel free to ask us any questions, and you can also tweet us at #InsideBowling, and we'll bring that up on the screen for you. Take a look at our squad sheet this morning and see who we do have out participating today. Zach Bajorner, who really is one of the major reasons why this tournament's even possible. Zach is the owner of Fusion Realtors and adds a nice amount of money to the prize fund. Zach, always a pleasure to have around. He's a great guy, does a lot for bowling in this area. And Zach, thank you for the hotel room, as he's well connected here and took care of my hotel room. So thank you, Zach. And Aaron Ramsden, he's a PBA player, bowls a lot of regionals. Jeff Riggles, Troy Schaefer, Zach Livingston, John Brocklin on this squad. He's on lane 7 and 8 right now. Joe Engelkes, Derek Rude, Cody Brandow, Daniel Healy, Cody Taylor, Roger Taylor Jr., Gabe Bartlett, Leon Brewer, Zach Mihalovich, Brian Netherton, also Jeff McCann, Ben Truig, Justin Weber, Nathan Wright, Rob Amers, Storm Staffer, Rob Amers, Kenny Calkins III, David Carter, Dwayne Kiltz, who last year in this event was our leader going into the final match and lost to Nick Heiligman. So Dwayne Kiltz, last year's tournament leader into the stepladders, bowling on this squad. Roxy Bush, Dave Gerst, Mark Lineberry, Don Breeden on the squad. Russ Cruz Jr., Darren Galbraith, John Shaw, Andy Aries, Travis Scott, Bryce Smith, Keith Wright, Mike Peters, who's also known as Jeff Carter's doubles partner. He's on this squad along with Scott Rains, Jeff Roush, Matt Wagon, who is a USBC Eagle holder, Mark Bennett Jr., Eric Kirby, Jason Rook, Troy Fuller, Jason Peterson, and Brandon Steen. 52 bowlers on this squad, according to my score retrieval sheet that was brought up to me this morning by Jennifer from the tournament staff. So game number 1 early on here, about the third frame across the house. 7 qualifying games, as I said, 39-foot pattern, 2.3 to 1 ratio this morning as we get things kicked off here at the Fusion Realtors. For this being a demanding pattern, I'm looking around and I'm seeing quite a few strikes actually here this morning. Bowlers had a practice session yesterday for a couple of hours from 4 to 6 yesterday afternoon on Friday. Looks like this morning on the fresh, they've got it figured out. Crisp back ends. I'd like to welcome in Andrew 29 this morning. So as the players get their feet wet out on the lanes on game number 1 of this 7-game qualifying block, so are we. And I'm going to step away for just a moment and get a few things from the tournament office. You're watching continuing coverage here of the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open. It's A squad qualifying. We thank all of you for being with us. I'll be right back. So I'm looking around, and there are a lot of strikes this morning, as I mentioned earlier to you. Mike Flanagan back with you here in the booth at the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open. It's the A-Squad qualifying game number 1. If you're just joining us, welcome this morning. And over on lanes 7 and 8, I'd like to direct our attention over to there. Lanes numbers 7 and 8. You see Joe Engelkiss grabbing his bowling ball. Joe Engelkiss has 9 spare, 5 bagger. John Brockland, who will be up on lane number 8, has the first 6. So as we black cloud Joe Engelkiss for a 10 pin, still a good run for Joe, 269 max score. We're looking at John Brockland, who last year this weekend bowled the USBC Masters, made match play as an amateur, beat Nathan Bohr, John Zerbinski, and lost to Wes Millant and Tommy Jones. That's a tough field. He's a Storm Pro Shop staffer using a hypercell this morning. And there we have it. That is what we do here, is when we shift the attention, when developing stories happen, many, many times we black cloud them. And that is exactly what has happened to these two guys right here this morning, Joe and John, good friends of ours here at Inside Bowling. Joe is the tournament organizer, bowls all the events as well, and we love Joe. We definitely love Joe. And John actually made the car ride up with me this weekend. It's always good to see FJ. Father John, as we like to call him. Also on their pair, Derek Rude. And we'll stay here and we'll see what Derek can do as he's working on 290 through 6 frames. If this was an eliminator type tournament and we were in the finals right now, we'd have quite a dandy on our hands here on lane 7 and 8 as we get a look at Derek Rude. And he misses the head pin, but still gets a strike. Hits the 3-6 clear in the face, and something comes out of the back and takes the 4 into the 2 into the head pin for a strike. So he's still got 290 left. Joe Engelkiss has 269 possible score, and John Brockland 278. So these 3 players can open up with about 830 between the 3 of them on this 2.3 to 1 39-foot lane pattern. It's pretty amazing. Sponsors for this weekend tournament, there's a lot of them. Fusion Realtors, obviously. Storm Bowling Products, Storm sponsors all the Greater Iowa Tour. This being one of the majors here. Storm, the Bowlers Company, obviously doing Storm's part in supporting a great organization like this. Of course, us here at Inside Bowling, coming back year after year, proud sponsor of the event. Rydell Chevrolet, the P&K Midwest John Deere dealership here in Waterloo. Kingpin Bar and Grill right here at Maple Lanes. They are donating proceeds and part of the revenue generated this weekend back into the tournament. Budweiser and Bud Light, the local distributor here, helping out. The Isle Casino and Hotel, and the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau. Take you back into our split screen and take a look and see what's happening on the other pairs. Lanes 5 and 6 and lanes 13 and 14. Andrew 29 says he's up early watching us and the Masters this morning, and we thank you for that. just from looking early on this morning, I wonder if they put out the right pattern. No, I'm not insinuating that the wrong pattern is out there, but these scores, just incredible. Good morning to Kingpin. Just joined us in the chat. Good morning to you. On the monitors here, I just saw FJ get a strike, and a graphic comes up on the screen with a heart that says, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. I'm not sure what the scoring system is here. I don't know if this is Mendez or what we have here, but I like that graphic. I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. Very nice. USBC Hall of Famer Jeff Riggles has always been a supporter of what Joe and his group have done here. Not too far of a drive for Jeff to come down from Madison, Wisconsin. Jeff is on lanes 3 and 4 currently. Looks like he's got 224 left. Up in the 9th, leaves a 4-pin. Just had a late roster addition here written in the booth up here. Shannon Buchan also on this squad. He was an exempt player in the 64 field of the Professional Bowlers Association a few years ago, back when they had exempt fields. Shannon also someone who's supported what we've done for a very long time, and Shannon is in this field here today. So pretty cool stuff there. Don't forget, if you're watching and you are on Twitter, you can tweet us here in the booth at #InsideBowling. We'll display your tweet on the screen. We'll take you back over to lane 7 and 8, where these bowlers have entered the 10th frame. This has been a high-scoring pair here this morning. You're looking at John Brockland up in the 10th frame, possible 278 max score. He only missed in the 7th with an 8 count, and second shot, we've gone over there to him, and almost a solid 7-9. So possible 257 for John. Joe Engelkiss has already struck in the 10th frame, first ball in the 10th, so he has 245 left. This is his second shot in the 10th right now. That's a good-looking shot there by Joe, your tournament organizer, tournament leader. He does a great job leading the folks here at the Greater Iowa Bowling Association. It'll be interesting here to see if Brocklin makes a ball change on his fill, as he is throwing the hypercell. And obviously with me working at headquarters at Storm in Utah, hypercell, IQ Tour Fusion, 2 balls right now that are very difficult to keep up with the demand. Very, very difficult to keep up with that demand. And as I presumed, FJ is going to make a ball change. And looks like Joe is throwing the Storm bite this morning, and Joe gets her done with 245. 245 for Joe Engelkiss. Everything strikes for FJ. Our other pairs are currently finished up, so we'll stay here. Derek Rude, 10 back. He can shoot 256, so 240, 250, 250 for the guys on this pair. Pretty good start. Got some more folks trickling into our chat this morning. Bowler 34. Jay Pevy 44. Today's skip procedure is move 1 to the right, skip 1, skip 2, skip 1, skip 2, skip 1 during A squad. Then new skip procedures for the rest of the day. So they're going to keep us on our toes all day. Take a look at the other lanes here. Some action still underway. Game number 1 just finishing up. Take a look at the high end of the bowling center. Take you over to lanes 5 and 6, where Aaron Ramsden is coming into your picture. Zach Bajorner, Aaron Ramsden, Jeff Riggles, and Troy Schaefer on lanes 5 and 6 this game. Here with Joe Engelkiss. Joe, good start this morning.
Not bad for not being ready to bowl. I guess I was supposed to bowl C squad, but with the weather issues for the guys from Minnesota, we actually had to ask for volunteers, and I was one of them, so I moved up to the A squad and got ready in a hurry. And went pretty well. It's scoring a little better than I thought they were going to this morning.
This oil pattern, can you tell the folks at home a little bit about the pattern?
Yeah, it's actually relatively flat. It's 39 foot, 28 milliliters, which is fairly good volume, but on this hooking surface, it hooks more than what you would think. And it's 2.33 to 1 ratio, so 3 to 1 sport compliant. This is definitely below sport compliant as far as the pattern statistics. So.
Yeah, and your pair opened up with 750 between the three of you. You're looking forward to crossing with these guys today?
Yeah, we're having some fun already. I was low dog with 245. I felt like I threw it pretty well except for 2 shots, and I got steamrolled. So
your ball of choice this morning, it looked like it was a bite, but I couldn't get a glimpse from the booth. Is that correct?
Yeah, I started out with a bite. I had a pretty good look with a crossroad, too, that I'll probably go to as they transition a little bit and maybe start dry out in the heads a little.
All right, Joe. Well, great tournament. Great to watch you bowl a little bit there during the first game. Good luck to you the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
That's Joe Engelkiss. He's our tournament director and bowling A squad instead of C squad this morning. You're getting a look at lanes 5 and 6, as we said. Jeff Riggles and his group down there. Zach, the person behind the increased prize fund here, well connected in the Waterloo area. Zach Bajorner coming into your picture on lane number 6. Opened up with 202 this morning. Troy Schaefer, 161. Aaron Ramsden, 245. And Jeff Riggles, 188. So even though we saw 750 from our pair over on 7 and 8, those are not the scores all the way around. Zach actually coming to your screen now on lane number 6. Zach had 202. We saw Troy Schaefer cross over for a strike. Aaron Ramsden, 245. Pretty good start for Aaron. Take a look and see what Riggles does here. He's throwing the deranged this morning. Pretty tight line for Riggles. Hey, Jeff, how are you trying to play the lanes today?
I'm trying to pretend I have a rev rate, which I don't, because everybody that has a rev rate seems to be able to get it to return sending it, and there's enough fresh there still that they're creating hold too. So I'm just kind of freeze it on the hold of the shiny ball right now.
Well, FJ doesn't have a lot of rev rate, and he opened up with 250.
He's playing farther out, isn't he? I wanted it. I had 2 choices. I think I should have played the edge with Fusion that I have pin in the palm. I probably made a bad mistake there, but I threw some strikes in the last couple balls of practice, but all these guys I'm bowling with are left of me and kind of got in jail there. So hopefully this ball will work from in there.
Yeah, FJ's throwing a hypercell with a little bit of polish on it. He's going a little left to right, kind of making it look like a house shot. Down on lanes 7 and 8. Engelkiss, Rude, and Brocklin, 750 between the 3 of them. And I
didn't want to play out because then almost the whole field's playing left of me. And at some point I'm going to get in such jail that I'm going to be making a total guess in the middle of things on where to go to and with what. I figured this way I'm at least playing where most of the people are playing. And over 7 games, I think that's a wiser decision. It would help, too, if I could make a spare.
Ramsden, as I said, opened up with 245, and this game has the first 3, and he's throwing the Storm Gold Ball. So I'm going to let those guys play, head back up towards the booth area. As I am flying solo here today. Brian Burkhardt here as well, working through all of our technical stuff. He hasn't been on the road in a while. He's been monitoring our stream and looking at some things for us here, working on site. Got to make sure to mention he's here today. We're parked out behind lanes 9 and 10. And don't forget, tomorrow you want to join us. Oh, I want to say somewhere around 2:30 or 3 o'clock for our stepladder finals. So beginning of game number 2, 2014 Fusion Realtors Open A-Squad qualifying, brought to you by Storm and many other sponsors here in Waterloo. I'm Mike Flanagan here with you. Be 21 games today. A, B, and C squad, 7 games each.
We're going to assume you got my payment in this.
I did. It actually came yesterday or day before. Yeah, if it shows paid on your checking sheet, that means I got it. Yep. Appreciate that. What's that? Zoo with this stupid weather. We're going to end up at 64 or 65 bowlers on the last spot.
I like Wriggles' new jersey. He's got a couple of dice because he likes to play craps as the dot in the eye on Wriggles. So Wriggles is perfect through 3. We have a possibility of a perfect game by Jeff Wriggles on lane 5. You know, as I said before, that's what we do here. Take you over to lane number 8. I've got a camera over here. Continue to follow along. Joe Engelkiss, John Brocklin, and Derek Rude, as we continue to watch them go across the house. Brocklin opened up with 7 spare, 8-1, now a strike. And Engelkiss missed a single pin in the first frame struck, and now is throwing at this 4-pin. And Derek Rude has got an opening double over here on lanes 9 and 10. Lanes 13 and 14. See some outer space graphics for a strike. Always fun to see the different scoring monitors. Got a mixed bag here. A little bit of everything. Strike, spare, splits, opens. This bowling center has got a reddish pink feel with a splash of orange. The old AMF masking units, a little old school in here. New carpet, new bar, beautiful pro shop here. Fran's Pro Shop. It's a smaller town here in Waterloo, but they love their bowling. and take care of this bowling center quite well. It's very clean, very nice. And as I said earlier, we always enjoy coming to this event. So good morning to everyone. Up to a few more viewers here. We know there's choices for online content and what you're doing, and we appreciate you coming and checking out this morning's competition. 39-foot oil pattern, 2.3 to 1 ratio. And the lanes are transitioning early already this morning. Bring you into our split screen. We'll take a look at both lanes 5 and 6 and lanes 13 and 14 at once. I will have guests in the booth throughout the day during B Squad. Jeff Riggles will join us. Be a great opportunity to catch up with Jeff. As since I moved to Utah, I haven't had a chance to catch up with as many of the Midwesterners as I used to. I know Jeff's really excited. He's able to throw both brands now, both Roto and Storm. I know that made him really happy. So they move one to the right after the first game. Game number 2 now, and they'll skip 1 the next game, skip 2, then skip 1, then skip 2, then skip 1, all the way across this 32-lane bowling center we call Maple Lanes. For those of you that are bowling fans, I'm going to change the subject here for just a moment as we've conveniently got you the scores up on the screen. You can keep an eye on what's going on the lanes on 5 and 6 and 13 and 14. But how about this story coming out of New Jersey that recently was talked about on PBA and shared on social media? Parker Bone III and his wife Leslie are extremely good friends with the Foreys that run Buddy's Pro Shop, and they struck up a conversation about Chris and Janine Forey were trying to have a child, and they were going through the in vitro process. And Parker and Leslie got wind of this, and on a sales call visit when the in vitro process was not working, Parker had let Chris know that Leslie was considering being a surrogate, being able to carry someone else's baby, to be able to allow someone to have a family, and they struck up a conversation. The rest is history. You can head over to pva.com or just search for it. It's a great story. Leslie Bone delivers an ultimate gift of love on Valentine's Day, as they delivered Chris and Janine Forey's child, which is a pretty remarkable and unbelievable story for the Bones to do so. And really, really great people, Parker and Leslie Bone, and congratulations to the Foreys for being able to have their first child. So congratulations, and just a great story I wanted to talk about here for a minute. I'm actually over at pba.com, and those of you that are bowling fans, it is Masters weekend. Take a look and see what's happening here at the 2014 USBC Masters. Looks like this morning Tom Smallwood defeated Jason Belmonte 7-10 to 651. And E.J. Tackett took down John Janowitz 707 to 610. So Smallwood and E.J. Tackett undefeated in the winners bracket. Also, it was Ryan Simonelli defeating Dick Allen 627 to 563. Ryan Simonelli advances in the winners bracket. And he will bowl Michael Haugen Jr., who defeated Doug Kent 679 to 621 this morning. We'll head over to the losers bracket. And over in the losers bracket, it looks like it was John Zerbinski defeating Brian Goebel 689 to 585. Now Zerbinski gets Doug Kent. And Dom Barrett beat Patrick Gerard, and now Dom Barrett takes on Dick Allen in the losers bracket, or as they're calling it this year, the contenders bracket. And it was Dan McClellan defeating Rhino Page 683 to 622. McClellan now draws Janowitz. And it was the Chief, Brian Himmler, defeating Jaime Gonzalez 652 to 605. Himmler and Jason Belmonte duel it out in about 15 minutes. Or actually, I take that back. So I'm looking at all my computers. I've got one on Utah time, and I've got one on West Coast time, I think. So it looks like that's probably underway. I mean, I'll just look at my phone. 10:15. Yeah, it's underway. So see if we can get an update on what's going on there. And don't forget, if you're not subscribed to Extra Frame, you should definitely subscribe to Extra Frame. Online broadcasting of bowling is where it's at. And we appreciate all forms of that. Extra Frame, Bowl TV, Lucas Wiseman and his crew over there, Jason Overstreet, Matt Lawson, they do a great job. We need everybody watching bowling as much as possible. I've watched Bajorner now. It was just up on lane 5. He's throwing a, looks like a box finished hypercell. A lot of fur on it. And we see him going light, but he's throwing the ball very aggressive. Zach looks pretty good out on the lanes today. Just kind of staying clean and hanging out. Looks like Riggles has moved right with an IQ Tour Fusion. Lanes 13 and 14, Gabe Bartlett, Leon Brewer, Zach Mihalovich, and Brian Netherton on the right side of your screen. And again, on the left side of your screen, it's Aaron Ramson, Jeff Riggles, Troy Schaefer, Zach Bajorner. A lot of Zach's bowling here this morning, actually. So I look over my sheet. 2 within 2 pairs, I know that much. Keep an eye on our guys over on lanes 9 and 10. Brocklin with a strike. So Brocklin 126 in the 7th. Only has 216 left after a 250 start. Derek Root another strike. That's 4 in a row for Derek. He opened up with double, 9 spare, 6 spare, now 4 in a row. Joe Engelkiss sporting the Mike Fagan jersey today. Engelkiss up in the 9th, working on a strike, has 224 left. So these guys opened up with 750 between the 3 of them, and FJ struggling a little bit. 7 spare, 8, 1 strike, 7 spare, strike, 9 spare, 9 spare, strike. Engelkiss still going at it. Supposed to bowl C squad. And this morning gets the tournament running and going, and now he's bowling on the A squad. Take you over 13 and 14. Whenever you see the black and white solar system up on the monitor, you know that was a good thing. I am learning that this morning at least. Bowling pins exploding. Pretty exciting stuff. Back over to 9 and 10. Looks like Brocklin's setting up. He's got his left foot about 25. Drifts a little right, slides about 20, crossing around the 8th board. And he liked that. That's a double for John. That's the 9th frame. Game number 2. Now Derek here is looking for 5 in a row. Open with 250 and has 265 left up in the 9th. Did not like it. Looks like his feet were just a little fast or caused him to pinch it off a little to the left. He's got it looking at a baby split. Go back out, look at 2 pairs at once. Ramsden can shoot 225. He's going to make a ball change here in the 10th frame. Troy Schaefer, 2 4 10s on a triple. Had 226 left. Now he's going to be staring at about 190. Unless he can convert. Ramsden ball change 225 for Ramsden. So 245, 225 start. He's 70 over after 2. An accomplished bowler, a lot of PBA events under his belt, a lot of regionals. And Riggles, after opening up with 188, can shoot 217 game number 2. And when we talked to him earlier, he said that he was going to try to stay more in the middle of the lane for a while as the lanes will come to him. He didn't want to be handcuffed later, so get a look at Riggles. I know he probably wants the first hit here, otherwise he's staring at 192 if he goes spare strike. So important to get the first hit here. He's throwing the fusion. He has moved right, playing around the 7th board. Pretty good shot there. Bajorner's also switched balls now. The hypercell is out of his hand. Looks like he's got some red and blue ball in his hand. And continues to come in light. We'll go back over lanes 9 and 10, as these bowlers will be skipping a pair to our right. Brocklin now, second shot and the 10th, can still finish with 216 if he fills it up. Joe Engelkiss, if he spares his 6-pin, will have 213. And Derek Rude still has 243 left, so he can open up with about 500 for the first two, which is a great start for Derek. Brocklin's going to throw the last 5 here, it looks like, for 216, so a nice bailout. Nice second half of the game for Brocklin. We're waiting for this. Looks like Riggles has left a bucket, actually. Riggles is going to shoot 199 if he covers it. Nope, 197. Brocklin's 12th shot of the game. Another strike, so 216 for John with the last 5. Derek Rude, first shot and the 10th, gets a strike. He can still shoot, as I said, 243. Also down below, you may have to refresh your screen, but you won't have to do that again if you're watching live on our InsideBowling.tv page, which is where you should be during the live broadcast. If you're watching later on YouTube, about the next 10 seconds is going to bore you. But basically down below, A Squad after game number 1 is now available in a drop-down menu underneath event information. And also, all of the A Squad entries are also available down below. You can see everyone that is bowling the tournament right now. And we'll take a look at scores after game number 1. As Derek Rude, 243, Joe Engelkiss, 213 on this pair, and Brocklin, 216. Take you over to 13 and 14, the only other pair I have going currently. But let's look at the scores after game number 1 as they are updated. Zach Livingston, 268. John Mescher, 258. Brocklin we saw shoot 257. Derek Rude, 246. Joe Engelkiss, 245. So 3 of the top 5 were on the pair we were covering earlier. Sometimes we just get lucky like that. Ramsden, 245. Leon Brewer, 244. Roger Taylor Jr., 243. Scott Rains, 236. Dave Gerst, 236. If you want to see how your favorite bowler in this A squad fared the first game, the 53 bowlers that are on this squad, just look down below on your event information tab, and you'll be able to see that. Finishing up game number 2, lanes 13 and 14. It's the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open A Squad qualifying. Mike Flanagan here with you in the booth. Special shout out to all of our sponsors here in this event. Storm, the Bowlers Company, Fusion Realtors, Inside Bowling, Rydell Chevrolet, P&K Midwest, John Deere, Kingpin Bar and Grill here at Maple Lanes, Budweiser, Bud Light, the Isle Casino, and the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau. Looks like we've got action underway already on lanes 5 and 6.
Tried to hide it from you. I just try my hardest to get the ball to roll as fast as I can and lay off. Yeah. Well, if I had as much hand as you, I'd probably use that philosophy. I'm trying to generate. Of course I didn't strike, because I'm old.
Just 3 bowlers on lanes 5 and 6. My crossing sheet doesn't help me out a lot. These guys don't have names on the back of their shirts, so forgive me for not knowing every bowler in the field right now. But looks like we got a double for the second bowler down below, and these guys, from watching their styles here, throw the ball pretty good. See Mike Peters off to the left of your screen over there on lanes 3 and 4. Mike Peters and Matt Wagon. Scott Rains also on that pair. Pretty good pair over there. We'll bring in 2 pairs at once as we continue to follow 3 out of the top 5 after the first game, all paired up together. They have now moved over lanes 13 and 14. Joe Engelkiss, John Brocklin, and Derek Rude. I anticipate Derek Rude through 2 games is going to be your tournament leader. Bowling nearly 500. Game number 3, you see nice shot with the gun up on the scoring monitor. A lot of times they'll disable the graphics when we come into town. But I'm kind of liking the graphics today. Flying solo here in the booth, I'm enjoying having some fun lane graphics to talk about here today. Good shot on lane 6, keeping the ball in play. Very similar line to what Riggles was playing on that pair. And welcoming all our viewers this morning. If you're just joining us, Fusion Realtors Open. It is the A squad today, game number 3. Pretty full bowling center here today, 32 lanes as you get a look at the right side of the bowling center, just to the right of our booth. And we've got all types of fans here today, including the ones attached to the ceiling, one behind every pair. Lanes 13 and 14. Double for Brockland. We've got a Brett Cooper sighting here in the building. He's the Storm sales manager for this area. He'll be bowling on the C squad today. Out on social media today, looking through my feed, it looks like Dave Barris says, off to Waterloo, Iowa to bowl the Fusion Open, one of the best tournaments of the year. The mastermind and genius are ready to go. Hashtag Team Brunswick. Brockland now with a triple. Five and sixes looks like it's played harder than 13 and 14 thus far. From what we've seen early on. Tom Doherty this morning says, all I want for my birthday is for Doug Kent to make the show at the Masters. Hashtag favorite bowler of all time, Tom Doherty says. I've got A squad standings up after game number 2, updated 3 minutes ago, it says down below on our event information tab section on InsideBowling.tv. Our leader, Scott Rains, after the first game, or after the first 2 games, is plus 115. Second, Zach Livingston at plus 114. Third is Derek Root at plus 89. John Mesher sits fourth at plus 86. Dave Gerst is fifth at plus 82. Brocklin, Ramsden, Fuller, Engelkiss, and Breeden, your top 10 this morning. To be able to see those scores, just go down below on your event information tab, and you can see how your favorite bowler is bowling this morning. Take a gander over here at lanes 9 and 10 just here in front of the booth. The Ramsden, Bajorner, Riggles, Schaefer pair. Ramsden just spared. He has 77 in the fourth with a spare up in the fifth now. Bajorner here actually. Spare, triple. Looking for 4 in a row. You can call it a ham bone or you can call it a 4-bagger. We'll let you decide at home what you want to call that. Playing pretty deep. Looks like he's back to the hypercell. And that's 4 in a row for Zach. Looking good out there. Now Riggles has yet to strike on the spare, opening up 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, 8 spare. Up in the fifth. You'll see him come up on your screen here in just a moment. Lane number 9. See what Riggles is doing here. As he continues to try to find a good look out there. Now he's got a 0 gravity in his hand. He looks like he's opening up the lane a little bit more. And flat 10s. Now, because I've been able to analyze all the Storm and Rotogrip equipment myself personally, Riggles isn't far off with where he just threw that ball. I would suggest a 2 and 2 right, and that ball will have a much higher chance of striking, in my opinion. His rev rate and the low diff in that ball, I'd like to see him a little bit further right. So we'll continue to monitor what he does. Bring in our 2 featured pairs, 5 and 6, 13 and 14.
How are you? You did?
That's the voice of Zach Bajorner. We got a microphone down there, our ambient mic. So he wants to know how everyone is doing this morning. He's talking to one of the spectators here as he's well connected here in Waterloo. He knows everybody. I don't know what Riggles did there. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him what he did differently there.
Hey, Jeff, we've been watching you bowl on this 9 and 10 pair. You got your first strike in the 6th frame. We saw you go to the 0 gravity and flat 10. What'd you do on lane 10 on the last shot?
I think there was only 8 pins in the rack. Seriously, I'm just trying to get around a little more side roll is all, just to maybe get it to tip a little more. If I had 25 to 50 more RPMs, I would have the nut, but I don't. 10 years ago.
So I was watching, I know the low diff core, obviously I'm in Utah, and I get to see all the balls, and we get to see them tested. My intuition when you left the flat 10 was to move like 2 and 2 right, and you would probably strike. Did you make a move on lane 10, or did you just change your hand?
No, that was all hand position. I think moving right on this, the ball just checks up right away. The pattern's so short. I follow the Derek Oaf method. We talked about this in league one night. He goes, I hate to move right. I'd rather just stay where I am and try and switch. I like the angle I got. It's going to the pocket. I just got to make it enter the pocket a little more. A 2 and 2 right move might be a Brooklyn or a 3-6-10 that's my feeling.
Okay, that's Jeff Riggles down the lanes. I knew he'd be able to clear things up for us, tell us what's going on. We'll continue to monitor the progress on lanes 9 and 10. He truly believes by moving right, you will go high. Currently, from what I'm seeing across the house and some of the different pairs, analyzing this, I feel a little bit differently, but I'm not out on the lanes.
Thank you very much.
Lanes 5 and 6 have completed their play, 226, 217, 234. So we'll take a look at 13 and 14. Back to Rude, Engelkes, and Brocklin. Engelkes can still shoot 258. .240 for Rude. And 242 for Brocklin. So these guys still bowling well as they cross the house. Not a good shot by Joe there. Foundation frame here for John Brocklin, looking for triple. Has not switched balls, is continuing to use the hypercell. Riggles is going to go first, though. And Brocklin wraps a 10.
2 and 2 right for sure.
Riggles just gave me a 2 and 2 right for sure. He just looked a little up the back of it, and the hand position change where he was obviously worked for him quite well. But usually a guy like Barnes, from what I've seen in the past, if he's flat 10 and it's always like a 1 and 1 right or 2 and 2 right, and jam it a little more in there, and that's what I was thinking Riggles was going to do. But he's got it figured out now. 0 gravity, double, 6 in the 7th. After opening up with 5 consecutive spares. You're watching lanes 13 and 14. Bring up the scoreboards for you. Game number 3 of this 7-game qualifying block here at Maple Lanes in Waterloo, Iowa. 2014 Fusion Realtors Open, brought to you by
Storm and a plethora of other sponsors we've been mentioning all morning. 3 squads today, A, a B, and a C. A quality field coming through today as the Greater Iowa Bowling Association, Greater Iowa Bowlers Tour, has around 24 events a year, 2 majors. This is one of them. There's a Fusion Realtors in the first half of the year and a Fusion Realtors in the second half of the year, and this is our second half. Last year, Nick Heilman won the tournament, defeating Dwayne Kiltz. We were here to bring you that action, and we're here to bring you the action again. Always happy to come here. I'm Mike Flanagan here with you in the booth. During B Squad, we will have Hall of Famer Jeff Riggles in the booth with us, so be sure to stick around for that. Make sure you get your questions ready for him as we'll get them answered. Don't forget you can tweet us up in the booth at hashtag InsideBowling, as well as you can also follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/InsideBowling will take you there. So Engelkist can shoot 236. Now Riggles looking for a triple. Second shot in the 10th for FJ. Comes in high. Might be about time for a ball change. Through 3 games using the hypercell. He's looking at 218. If he can spare it. This is an easy spare, 4-6. It's probably 217 for John, unless he grabs another ball and just throws it right down the middle. Engelkist shoots 235. That's good. Good game for Joe. Bowling good out here this morning. Every pin matters. FJ will tell you that. Don't ever give up a pin, even to get a filler shot. So FJ looks like actually 209. 209 for Brockland. String of strikes here for Rude. That comes to an end as he leaves an unusual 4-8-10. So what was looking to be another big game here for Rude is totally evaporated. He's going to be in the 2-0s if he can't convert this. This will be an interesting split conversion try. That gave it a run. So how about 205 for Rude? Can't be happy about that. And now Riggles, an unusual split leave as well, a 4-6-7-9. Schaefer with that spare in the 9th can still shoot 224. Wow, that ball, that's a supernatural and it just backed up.
So 6 out for Riggles. He can shoot 196. Bajorner now actually can shoot 268. 9th frame. Hypercell in his hand. Box finish. And is happy just to leave the 3. Did not like that shot at all. This just coming in from the USBC Masters. Michael Haugen and EJ Tackett are going to be your 1 and 2 seeds at the USBC Masters. Haugen and Tackett. Uno in the chat says you got to love Jeff Riggles' reactions on the lane. How are you, Uno? Good looking shot there by Schaefer. First shot in the 10th, can shoot 224. Aaron Ramsden leaving the treacherous 3-6-9-10. Nobody's favorite spare for sure. He can shoot 177 if he spare strikes. Bajorner still has 248 left, and Riggles 196. This is the only pair in play right now we have out there going on as we wrap up game number 3 at the Fusion Realtors Open. So Ramsden with a strike here on his fill ball, shoot 177 after going 70 over after the first 2. Didn't really like lanes 9 and 10. Now Zach certainly does on lane 9. First shot in the 10, 248 max score left. Looking good out there. Now, in my opinion, Riggles was further right with that ball. I don't know if he started further right or what he did there, but that looked further right to me. If we had a DVR or instant replay, I'd like to compare his last couple of shots, but that ball rolled extremely well. So we've got Riggles with the 0 gravity and Bajorner with the hypercell. He was way inside the target there. Still going to be in the 230s. Nice game for Zach. Riggles with another strike. Now switching to the Goldie for his fill ball. 238 for Bajorner. Nice bowling to that. Now you can certainly see the difference between the gold ball and the 0 gravity and hook potential as Riggles 2-4-10s on his fill for 193. Take you out of here. Looks like we've got action underway on lanes 13 and 14. Shannon Buchan. Along with Brandon Steen, Jason Peterson, and Troy Fuller.
doing too right with the gold ball. Maybe. Yeah. Just throw it better too.
This is a fun pair to watch here. Pretty good talent on this pair. Through 2 games. Just looking to see where Buchan was. +12th at +46. I'm going to head on down there and take a look at some score sheets. Buchan, game number 3, 173, sits at +19. Troy Fuller, 225, sits at +84. Jason Peterson, 206 the last game at -2. And Brandon Steen, 234, sits at +30. Opened up with 630. Right in front of us on lanes 9 and 10. The booth cam I have spun around. Got Mike Peters' pair. And just looking for their score sheets. I don't see them. So we get a look at lanes 9 and 10. Scott Rains +135, bowled 220 game number 3, 279 game number 2, and opened up with 236. Matt Wagon 199, 236, 171, sits at +6. Mike Peters now up on lane 10. Mike opened with 164, came back 278, 257, sits at +99. Scott Rains was your tournament leader after 2 games. And with 220 game number 3, I suspect he'll still be your leader after game number 3 as soon as the tabs get updated down below. Now here's a look at the unusual style of Matt Wagon, who's a USBC All Events champion. And I think that he's got a singles title too, if I remember correctly. Help me out in the chat. I don't have that right, but I think that's right. So if you're just joining us, game number 4 here at the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open. It's a 7-game qualifying block. Mike Flanagan here with you. A squad qualifying. B squad qualifying will be coming up here just after this. And then, of course, C squad will be bringing you live action all day long till about 10 p.m. You're in Waterloo, Iowa. Maple Lanes, to be exact. The Kingpin Bar and Grill here. Fran's Pro Shop. 32 lanes here in the bowling center. And a plethora of talented bowlers still to come through your live stream pairs. So make sure you tell all your friends to come and watch some bowling here today. I know some of you may be watching the USBC Masters. But no reason to not have 2 broadcasts up at once on your computers. Don't forget, you can interact with us up in the booth. Hashtag InsideBowling. And Kimple did, in the chat, confirm that Matt Wagon was your 2011 singles champion and all events champion. And if you are looking for the scores and you're watching live right now, all you have to do is go down below underneath event information and click on the tab, and you can see A squad after game number 2. After game number 3 will be up shortly. And if that doesn't appear, just do a refresh of your entire browser and restart the broadcast, and you'll see it appear down below, and you will not have to do that again. Storm and Stu says, at Slammy Global, Mike, you do your best work flying solo. Always great to watch your live streamed events. Hashtag InsideBowling. Hashtag Fusion. Hashtag Riding Solo. Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate it. And, of course, our partner missing here this weekend, Clifton Clowers, says, watching the Fusion Realtors live on hashtag InsideBowling in style. And he's got a link to how he's watching it today. So Scott Rain's 9-spare, 8-spare strike. We'll watch him throw one more delivery here, and we'll take you back out to our split screen pairs. Just wanted to give the leader of the tournament after 2 games a little bit of love here as he comes through. That is a double. Back to 5 and 6, 13 and 14. Just a reminder, it is a 39-foot lane pattern put down on top of this AMF synthetic lane surface. 2.3 to 1 ratio. It was advertised as being one of the toughest tournament patterns that they've put out for this event yet. But judging by the scoring pace, at least early on before they've gotten tricky in the transition, scoring pace relatively high this morning. Got to give a shout out to my buddy Dave Cost, who's watching this morning. Says great telecast. It's clear, interesting. Good job. Thanks, Dave. To those of you that are techie nerds that pay attention to our broadcast all the time, some of our most recent broadcasts have been in casinos in Las Vegas. And if you understand internet connection speeds at all, usually we're looking at about a 90 meg download speed and somewhere around a 40 to 50 upload speed, which is just incredible. So obviously when we come to locations such as Waterloo, Iowa, where the stream and the feed is not as well as a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar sometime property casino, our upload speed is about a 0.8 today. So we've changed our streaming levels a little bit so that more people can watch and that our stream doesn't go down. And still an adequate feed. So whenever someone says that they feel it's clear and everything looks good, even some of the lesser places like this, it's always good to hear. So we do record everything in a much higher quality, and when we put it out on YouTube, your quality will be better. But for the functionality purposes of everyone being able to watch the tournament here, we've got it set just about as perfect as we possibly can for you to be able to sit here and view as best as you can. "32 lanes in this bowling center. Joe puts 2 bowlers per lane, so 32 times 2 is 64 for you math majors. Times 3 gets a little trickier, takes you to 192 would be a max field. This morning, due to some weather conditions throughout the United States and people flying in, they're short a few bowlers this morning. So only 53 bowlers on this early squad this Saturday morning. We'll have a game number 2 standings. We have the game number 2 standings. We'll have a game number 3 standings here, I would anticipate, within the next 5 minutes. Always a great weekend to come here. With my job with Storm, I would be at the USBC Masters, but coming to be part of this event is really important to me and to all of us at Inside Bowling. It's one of the first events that we went and actually streamed on the road. Jeff Riggles put us in contact with Joe and everyone here, and we will continue to come stream this tournament as time permits for future years. This is kind of the grandfather rule here. You're grandfathered in this event. Everyone here is just so nice to us. They're always ready for us. Anything we need, they take care of us. It's almost like a family environment here in Waterloo. So I highly suggest, if you're watching at home and you'd like to consider bowling another tournament, this tournament is one you definitely want to get in this field. It is Masters weekend, and we know some of you probably watching may have competed in the Masters or choose to bowl that tournament instead, but I believe, and I don't know for sure, but I believe Rob Gottschall's on the list to bowl this event. He bowled the Masters this week, so I don't know what squad he's on, but I anticipate seeing him walk through the door and bowl this event. Some St. Louis friends of mine bowling this weekend as well. Dan Limish is in the field, and he'll be bowling later on today, along with Shea Bittenbender, Tim Barrett. Be good to see those guys when they get here. Craig Elliott joins us in the chat from MichiganBowler.tv. Greg, how are you today? Says 0.8 meg upload speed, the live stream nightmare. Well, no, that's not a nightmare. In our early days, we've streamed at 0.2. 0.2. Rob Gottschall on C Squad. We definitely want to talk to Rob because Rob's got a lot going on in his life right now and is making some major changes in his life. And later on, we will talk to Rob. We will find out what's going on with him. I would anticipate during B Squad he'll probably trickle in and want to talk to us. So Rob has been really, honestly, one of my favorites, and somebody that we just wish nothing but the best for, and looking forward to talking to him later and interviewing him and talking to him about some of the exciting things in his future in bowling. So looking forward to that, and we'll also discuss the USBC Masters with Rob when he gets here, hopefully. Let's go check in on Scott Rains. 9 spare, 8 spare, ham bone, and now 6 spare. So he can still shoot 254. Mike Peters, 142 in the 6th, strike up in the 7th, and now a spare in the 8th. He can still shoot 242. Wegan on lane number 9 has 134 in the 6th with a spare up in the 7th. And once again, just to point out that unique style, using it to range today. 2 eagles in the same year. It was singles and all events. Just absolutely wrecked him. Rains 4 pins. So still has 243 left. We'll go back to our split screen. Yes, Redman, I am aware that Tim Barrett has finished 2nd in the last 4 Southern Missouri Bowlers Tour stops in the St. Louis area. And I don't think I'm going to give him any grief at all. I think I'm going to tell him nice bowling. Now, the one thing I did hear about the SMBT is that the entries are a little bit lower than what they've been in the past. So not to take anything away from what Tim has done whatsoever, because he's bowling phenomenally well, but I know the fields have been a little bit smaller, as I've been trying to keep an idea on what's been going on back home in St. Louis as I've made the trek to Utah. All right, I've got standings after game number 3 updated down below. And Zach Livingston is your tournament leader, bowled 756 to open up the day. In second is Dave Gerst. He bowled 750. Scott Rains is in third at plus 735, or I'm sorry, at 735, which is plus 135 through 3 games. Mike Peters, plus 99, is in fourth. Derek Rude in fifth at plus 94. Engelkiss, plus 93. Fuller, Mesker, Brockland, Roush, your top 10. Buchan with a triple, getting kind of animated out there on the lanes. Take you back over to 9 and 10. 2 of our top 5 bowlers, Scott Rains, Mike Peters. Peters 4-pinned here in the 11th. He converts this, he'll shoot 219. Rains will be right behind him, can still shoot 243. And Matt Wegan spares in the 10th frame, can shoot 223. Dwayne Kilt's in 21st position, only plus 25, and he led the tournament last year. So Kilt's going to have to get it going. Normally bowls really well in this building. So Mike Peters, say hello to Jeff Carter, his doubles partner at the Holiday Doubles. Mike Peters, 219. Scott Rains coming at you here next on Inside Bowling.
Are you, you're going to be bowling all right?
13 and 14.
So now here's Rain's first shot in the 10th. Little left to right, crossing about the 11th board, and leaves a sticky 7. So possible 223 now for him if he spare strikes. And I am going to take a gander at the 2014 USBC Masters standings and get you updated on that, because we know you're a fan of bowling. Live PBA event happening right now, the 2014 USBC Masters at Brunswick Zone Carolier in North Brunswick, New Jersey. Tackett and Haugen advance in the winners bracket. Michael Haugen bowling 758 at Ryan Simonelli's 704. And it looks like over in the losers bracket right now, Doug Kent is bowling Dom Barrett. Now that's going to start in 20 minutes, looks like. Or actually, I take that back. 1:30 Eastern. It's going to start in an hour and 20 minutes. So it's going to be Doug Kent, Dom Barrett, John Janowitz, and Jason Belmonte. Belmonte defeated Himmler 664 to 621. It was Janowitz 773 over McClellan 697. So from a Storm perspective, we need Dom Barrett to defeat Doug Kent, and we need Belmo to defeat John Janowitz. But Janowitz is a great amateur bowler. He's throwing a power. He's got a Power Torque old school shirt on today, which definitely have appreciation for that. Doug Kent, obviously. Dougie Kent, what can you say? Just got inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame last year. Great guy. All the best to Doug Kent. It'd be great to see him make the show. And of course, Haugen and EJ Tackett already are going to make the show. And the winner of Doug Kent and Dom Barrett looks like are going to advance. Tom Smallwood and Ryan Simonelli will draw the winners of each of those matches. So pretty exciting bracket going on up in New Jersey today as you continue to watch A squad qualifying the completion of game number 4 here at the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open. I'm Mike Flanagan, happy to be bringing you this coverage today. 21 total games of coverage here from the beautiful Maple Lanes. Joe Engelkiss and his crew here. Storm coming on board this year as a sponsor of the Greater Iowa Tournaments. This one is one of the majors. 2 Fusion Realtors each year, and we've been happy to bring you 2 of them. Our first visit was at Cadillac Lanes, where we saw Derek Sapp bowl a 300 game in the finals. Matt McNeil was on the call with me on that, and he went Brooklyn on the last ball, and that's archived on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the Inside Bowling YouTube channel, I highly suggest you do it maybe in between these games or during the break. Go over to youtube.com/InsideBowling. Hit the subscribe button. We sure would appreciate it. We did have a video go viral last year, too, from the Lucy Bonneau doubles tournament. It was Troy Walker's world-famous 297 game, featured on the David Letterman show, all the Fox broadcast affiliates, and ESPN. Really a neat thing to be a part of, really a fun thing to be a part of, and it drew some notoriety and some admiration and some press for the Lucy Bonneau tournament, which is an unbelievable event down in Houston, Texas, ran by Donna Connors and Carol Norman. And they're just great people down there, and we're really happy to have been at that event. And we plan to go back again this year, as it's a star-studded cast of bowlers. I particularly remember one of the clips that we posted was with Marshall Kent and Danielle McEwen, crossing with Chris Barnes and Tanel Milligan, Sean Rash, Liz Johnson, Jody Westner, Patrick Allen. We're all on a split screen all at one time. So just a really great event down there. Sold out already. Sells out months in advance. Shout out to Donna Connors and her entire crew down there. And David as well, the general manager at the bowling center down there. Very welcoming, very inviting, and just a tremendous group of people down there. That event, I believe, is taking place the first week of August this year. If you want to find out more information, I'm sure you can go head over to Carol Norman's Pro Shop, and there's information on the Lucy Bonneau. And you can also check it all out on Facebook. I know there's a Lucy group on Facebook. So appreciate everybody being here with us here in Waterloo. Only pair we have action going on right now, lanes 9 and 10 right here in front of the booth. We have a new group of bowlers that have just come in. Just shared a photo from Matt Turek, who's watching Inside Bowling on his television today. HDMI cables are a wonderful thing. Leanne Holzenberg, who is one of my coworkers and becoming a great friend of mine, her and her husband Gary, says today, sitting here trying to write a speech for the Northern Utah Hall of Fame banquet tonight. Nothing like waiting till the last minute. Yikes. Well, makes you feel any better, Leanne. We wait till the last minute to do everything around here. And I'm sure it's reflected in the work that you all see. Well, looky here. We've got some action here. And look at who we have on lanes 13 and 14. It's none other than who we've been following, Scott Rains, Mike Peters pair, Matt Wagon. And someone has made pizza or something here in the bowling center because I just got a whiff of food, and it smells delicious. Made from the Kingpin Lounge. And for just a minute, I think I'm just going to go off on a tangent here for a moment, just to prove how important this tournament is to me every year coming to be part of it. I'm a huge auto racing fan. Not as much as I used to be because I don't have as much time on my hands. But I love auto racing, and I love the Daytona 500. And the Daytona 500 happens every weekend during this tournament every year. So I'm missing the Daytona 500 every year, and I'm missing a trip and an opportunity to go to the USBC Masters and represent Storm and sit in the front row and watch Jason Belmonte possibly get his second Masters in a row and be part of a live telecast. But I choose to be here with you, bringing you the Fusion Realtors. So go out, and this evening during C-Squad, let's try to get 55,000 viewers later today. That's an attainable goal. 55,000 viewers today. All right, back to the action. 5 and 6, 13 and 14. We've got a little old school going on here today, too. We've decided to go black and white on our monitors. They're easier to view that way. And we wanted to have a Blair Witch weekend, so it's kind of Blair Witch Project with the monitors. Are you sure, Storm Stu, that I'm still producing the best work whenever I'm flying solo? How about the Chad in Des Moines checking in? He's checking out the GIBA Fusion Realtors Open on Inside Bowling. Good stuff, Slammy Global, Inside Bowling. Slammy Global is my Twitter handle. Hey, give me a follow, too, while you're at it. I don't tweet as often as I should, but maybe if I get more followers, I would. Now here's a good trivia question for everyone that I do not know the answer to. Maybe Brian can help me out as he monitors our broadcast. We're at Maple Lanes, but are the lanes made of maple? It's a synthetic surface. I wonder if there is maple actually in the synthetic wood surface. And it is wood approaches, so I wonder if there's maple in the wood approaches. And then I wonder how we would figure that out. Like, you know, they have stud finders at Home Depot where you can put those up against the wall and it'll find the studs. I'd like to know if there's a maple tree finder. So anyway, I'd like to know that because we are at Maple Lanes. I want to say hello to our viewers as well. some folks in the chat. JPV, we really appreciate some of the positive comments you've had here in the chat. And Loose5682, thanks for the live stream. Good to have something on in the background while I'm working today. And Shasta in here also giving a shout out to Zach Bajorner for his work that he does with the Fusion Realtors and being involved in this tournament. Okay, Mike Flanagan back here with you at the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open A-Squad qualifying. Game number 5 before you. We'll have updated standings after game number 4 here in just a moment down below on your tabs. But today's a special day for a Storm staffer out there who happens to be a pretty good friend of mine these days. We spend a lot of time at the TOC together. And today's his birthday, and we thought we'd bring him into the broadcast. Joining us now on the guest line here, he competed in the USBC Masters. Tom Doherty joins us. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you, Mike?
Pretty good. So I've been keeping an eye on your Twitter and your Facebook here today. And first of all, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I see that you are cheering for a particular bowler that is still alive in the USBC Masters, and who is that?
That's Doug Kent. I used to, when he was out on tour full time, that was my roommate for a couple years, and one of my best friends in the whole world. So I'm hoping that he comes out. He wasn't sure he was going to bowl. He showed up last minute, and he's doing pretty well.
He is doing pretty well. Dougie Fresh, as we like to call him as well. And Dougie was just a recent PBA Hall of Fame inductee just a year ago. You bowled the Masters this week, Tom. Talk a little bit about what you saw at the Masters and take us through your week a little bit, because overall a good week, but from what I understand, you struggle in a certain bay of lanes there.
Yeah, it's for those that have never been to Philly, it's like 2 stories. Well, one level, but it's got like upstairs and downstairs, and the downstairs are lanes 51 through 80, 82 or whatever, 52, whatever, and we have to go across the house the whole time when we're bowling. So it's a different install. The lanes are always different. It makes qualifying difficult because you can be lined up and throwing one ball upstairs, and as soon as you go down to the other level, you have to change everything that you're doing. And over the past couple of years, qualified well, but I've always got my scores upstairs and downstairs. I always struggle. And the catches when it comes to the Masters, it's just a random draw of where you're going to get lane-wise, and it seems that I win when I'm upstairs. When I'm downstairs in lanes 51 through 58, I have never won a match. I've never even bowled good to win a match. It's crazy.
It is crazy. If you ran that by, I'm sure, Dell and Schlim and Callahan this week, and did they have any other like suggestions for you down there?
Yeah, that was Schlimmer's area down there, and he saw it. He saw me struggling, and he tried different things, and between the two of us, for me, I still haven't figured them out. It's a couple guys have problems there, but usually they can figure something out, and between the two of us, we've yet to come up with a ball or a game plan that actually fits my eye, and it's just difficult for me down there.
Yeah, hey Tom, we're here at the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open up here in Waterloo, Iowa. We've been streaming this tournament the last few years. Storm coming on board, being a sponsor of the event. We've got a sold-out field, a lot of added money from the local Convention and Visitors Bureau and the local Fusion Realtors Realty Group. Jeff Riggles and Tom Hess bowl this event. Rob Gottschall, a lot of guys participating this weekend. Shannon Buchan, who used to be exempt on tour. Just a great event brought to you by Storm. And just wondering if you could give us a little insight on some of the rocks that Storm is producing right now, and kind of what you're having some success with and what you might have worked well this week at the Masters.
Yeah, the new balls, especially the new rotogrip balls, are, to me, they're my favorite. The way I like to see the lane and what they do down the lane is pretty impressive for me. So all week, mostly in qualifying, I threw an Asylum. Really, really shiny Asylum. There wasn't a lot of them going down the lanes, I think, because guys were not shining them up. So it was one of the few ones that was actually thrown in Asylum, but I really had it really shiny. That was the only way it would work. And then when I went downstairs, I threw the black, the Black Force Solid, which obviously is a benchmark ball. Everyone should have one, and it gives you a different shape than all the other balls in the line. So when it's good, it's good. And then when they started to hook a little bit, I threw an Uproar, and then I threw a Crossroad, which when they hook, that's my go-to ball. I always still want to throw that Crossroad.
Yeah, good stuff for sure. Tom, this week, obviously, today's your birthday. Happy birthday to you again. Anything exciting you're doing today for your birthday? Are you going to head over and watch some bowling?
Yeah, we're heading up there right now. I'm going to root for Dougie and see if we can get him on the show. And then I gotta pack up, and I'm heading to Qatar tomorrow. So I got some laundry done. I got to get to the store and get some things before we head out. Got to get ready for my big long trip overseas.
Now, because you're going overseas, and obviously you're going to go bowl a couple of events over there. Is there anything at the grocery store for sure that you got to make sure that you stock up on to take overseas? And it looks like we just dropped his call on that question, so we will get him back here as he's out driving around. And I also want to find out who he's in the car with. I believe he's probably in the car. My guess is with Wes Malott. So we'll give him a buzz back here and see if we can get him. Give him a call here. Drop the call. Hello, Tom. Looks like we dropped the call there.
Yeah, sorry.
So anyway, we were talking about grocery shopping. Is there anything in particular you're going to pick up when you're there?
I'm going to get some toiletries, some deodorant. I heard that the deodorant over there isn't the same as ours over here, and it's you want to make sure you don't run out when you're over there. So
Interesting.
stock up on that, and then probably just get some candy and some junk food for the long flight over there.
Yeah, it is going to be a long flight. We wish you a safe trip for sure. And you said that we are going to grab some food right now. Who are you going to grab food with?
I am going to have lunch with Big West Malai. We're going to have some lunch, we're going to have some chilies, and then we're going to go over to the bowl and, like I said, pack up our stuff and get ready for my trip.
Well, good stuff, man. Make sure you tell Wes that we said hello here from the tournament, and we appreciate you coming on and joining us for a little bit this morning at this event, and wish you all the luck over in Qatar, and good luck with all the things going on at the Hall of Fame Pro Shop. If you're in that area, make sure you check out Tom's Pro Shop. And you got a YouTube channel out there now. You want to tell the folks at home your YouTube channel and where they can find and interact with you on Facebook and social media?
Yeah, always check it out. It's just my name, Tom Doherty. I have a channel on YouTube, and I have a Facebook page and a fan page, so posting some things on there, some really good things, some really cool things. If you ever want to see some ball reaction or whatever, just hit me up, let me know, and I'll shoot a video out there for you.
All right, man. Sounds good. Well, enjoy lunch with Wesley, and good luck to Doug Kent today, and good luck over in Qatar, and have fun at the grocery store later today.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
All right, that's
Thanks
Tom.
a lot.
That's Tom Doherty. Thanks, buddy, for joining us, and another great interview here on InsideBowling.com with some of the great Storm staffers that I've got to know here recently. Tom Doherty, I actually was talking with Tom, and he and Wes Malott room together now, and those two would be like a great tag team pairing. Great guys. So thanks to Tom Doherty for joining us. Game number 5 here at the Fusion Realtors. You've been watching Scott Pohl, Mike Peters and company, and also Rob Amers, his pair down on lanes 5 and 6 on your split screen. See if we have a standings after game 4, which we do, updated 3 minutes ago. Your leader now is Dave Gerst at 182 over through 4 games. John Meschker is second. Scott Rains third. Zach Livingston sits fourth at plus 156. Then a little bit of a jump down into plus 123. Fifth is Troy Fuller. Sixth, Mike Peters. Seventh, Derek Rude. Eighth, Darren Galbraith. Ninth, Jason Rook. 10th, Joe Engelkiss. John Brockland is all the way down to plus 54. He's in 19th position. Dwayne Kiltz plus 57 now, trying to mount a charge as he, I wouldn't necessarily say dominated last year, but he was he had a decent lead over the field. And that's actually is that Dwayne over there? It's actually Dwayne Kiltz on our featured pair, I believe.
Lanes 5 and 6, Rob Amers, 225, 214, 205, 232. Pretty good day. Pretty good start for Rob Amers, keeping the ball in play. Kenny Calkins, the third down here, 176, 226, 163, 277 the last game, plus 42. And Dwayne Kiltz last year we did talk about was our top seed. His day today, 207, 194, 224, 232. So pretty consistent day for Dwayne. Bowling his highest game the last 2 games, improving. So keep an eye on him here. 123 in the 7th for Dwayne, has a 213 possible max score.
And Dave Carter sits at minus 28. Kind of an up and down day. Opened with 157, sits at minus 28. Down here on lanes 5 and 6. I'm out roaming around, walking through the house right now, see if I can get some score updates for you. Jeff Riggle's 82 in the 5th, double up in the 6th and the 7th. Down on 19 and 20. Aaron Ramsden through 7 frames, still has 256 max score left. Shannon Buchan, front 4, 9 miss. 4-bagger going into the 10th. Possible 267 left for him. Game number 5. 2 games to go after this. I see a 7-bagger down here. Open 7-bagger by an unknown bowler, but give you an idea of some scoring pace here. See a pair down here, 237, 243, 193, 203, 29 and 30. Brocklin bowled 243 and has switched to a disturbed. Brocklin was on Rotogrip staff and just recently switched over to a Pro Shop contract where you can throw both brands, but throws primarily Rotogrip. Just had a chance to chat with him a little bit about his day going through the house. So pretty exciting stuff out there on the lanes as I've just got done walking the entire facility. We'll just full screen the 1 pair. It's 5 and 6. It's a little bit behind this pair. And Rains spares that up. Destroys the pin, according to the monitor. And it's going to be in the 220s. 259 for Mike Peters. And Rains gets 5 on the fill. 217. Made me a liar. I said 220. Well, wouldn't be the first time. Chad Kloss giving us a shout out on Facebook. Tells everyone to go to InsideBowling.com to watch live coverage of the Fusion Realtors Open, coverage all day and night, as the last squad starts at 6 p.m., which I gotta believe that's the squad he's going to bowl. Appreciate anybody going out and sharing and telling people that we're here live broadcasting this bowling tournament today. Get caught up in the chat here as well. JPV and Rinman hanging out with us. And we'll full screen lanes 5 and 6. Well, a strike on the fill for 153. Rob Amers has not had a good last couple of frames. Opening up with a double, 9 spare, 4 in a row, and then missed a single pin spare, and then a makeable 8 count. So Rob was in position to bowl his highest game of the day, as he's been very consistent. But now it's going to need a double to be in the 220s. And throws it completely out the window for a 1-2-4. So with a spare strike, it'll be 215 for Amers, who will continue to go plus, but that was a big opportunity there that just went by the wayside on lanes 5 and 6. And Dwayne Kiltz, also a very steady day today. We've been talking about how he led last year, and he's got himself backed up to a wall here in a corner. And now he's got a double heading into the 10th and goes through the face for an 8 count, so he's going to bowl his lowest game of the day. Still shoot 191, but not what he's looking for. We hope you're enjoying today's coverage of the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open, this A-Squad qualifying squad. Game number 5 just about over. We're heading into game number 6 of 7. Then a slight break, then back with B-Squad. USBC Hall of Famer Jeff Riggles will join us on that broadcast. And hopefully Rob Gottschall will make it into town so we can discuss some of his changes in his life and what he's going to be doing next. And then also this evening during the C-Squad, I'm sure a plethora of guests will stop in and join us as we narrow down this field for tomorrow's semifinals and then finals. Here at Maple Lanes, Waterloo, Iowa. Mike Flanagan here with you, bringing you all of the action, of course, today and tomorrow. So we currently have no bowling right now, so we'll take you out to a wide look at the high end of the bowling center as bowlers shift around and get ready for this game number 6. The number today that the bowlers are looking to get to is 60. 60 will make the cut to tomorrow. Everyone will cash tomorrow. So if that's 20 per squad, currently right now, through 4 games, 20th place is plus 42. So it's about a 210 average. So those of you that may be driving in, thinking about scoring pace of this event, or just watching at home, 210 is border. That's the bubble borderline there. So if you average probably about 215, you should be completely safe. So that's about 105 over for a 7-game block. So I would anticipate your cut number being somewhere around 100 to be safe, maybe a little bit lower if we continue the same pace that this squad has put up. Through 4 games, Dave Gerst leads at plus 182. He is your leader. 20th place right now belongs to Kenny Calkins III at plus 42. Shannon Buchan, Aaron Ramsden, Matt Wagon just on the outside looking in. And Jeff Riggles sits in 29th right now at just plus 14. Riggles is known at making a run late with 2 games to go. Jeff's definitely going to want to have to get his striking shoes on. He's going to want to go at least about 70 or 80 over the last 2 to have a sniff at making it till tomorrow. So a couple of 240 games, that's a story to watch as I walk around and I'll tell you what we see. Looks like we've got bowlers reporting to their lanes right now. We'll take you over to 13 and 14, action underway. If you missed it, we had Tom Doherty on just a little bit ago. Today is his birthday, and he is cheering on his ex-roommate on tour, Doug Kent, one of his favorite people, and he is grabbing lunch with Wes Malott up in New Jersey right now. So today is Masters Saturday as they are trying to get themselves down to a TV stepladder finals. Michael Haugen Jr., E.J. Tackett have both made it to television show. Both are still alive in the winner's bracket. They'll be facing off this afternoon in New Jersey. Make sure you give our friends over at Extra Frame a follow today and watch the USBC Masters live on ESPN tomorrow. It's a bowling doubleheader tomorrow. You can watch the USBC Masters on your television at home and keep an eye on who's making the cut here, and then when it's over, we're going to have a live telecast for you as well tomorrow afternoon here on Inside Bowling. A little housekeeping here as we are beginning game number 6. If you would like to keep an eye on the scores yourself, if you're over on the InsideBowling.tv page, which redirects you to InsideBowling.com/content/IBTV, that's the page you want to be on, because you can see under the event information pull-down menu, which is in blue down below, you can see the people that are entered into A squad and standings after game number 4, as we've just completed game number 5. You can also tweet us here in the booth at #InsideBowling. If you use the hashtag, you can have your tweet displayed on the screen.
Where we started.
Mike Flanagan here with you. Brian Burkhart here as well. Made the trip up yesterday with both Burkhart and FJ, John Brockland. There's a Derek Sapp sighting here in the bowling center. I see Derek Sapp. I'm guessing he's bowling B squad today. Bring in the split screen here. Rob Amers handing me a note here. Even though I just donked off 2 easy spares, I crushed my TV pairs average by 50 to 60 pins. So I'm not out of it. Rob Amers. Good old Rob. One of the good guys out here. No doubt about it. One of the good guys out here bowling this event every year. Remember last year he had a couple of drinks and wanted to join us on the broadcast. And, maybe this year he'll join us on the broadcast. Always a fun time to have Rob around. Yes. 39-foot oil pattern, 3.2 to 1 ratio here on this AMF, I believe HPL lane surface. Have a game number 5 update here for you shortly. Skip procedure was move 1, skip 1, skip 2, skip 1, skip 2, skip 1 for A squad. B squad will have a different skip procedure. Down behind lanes 19 and 20, roaming the concourse. Looks like Scott Rains is open with a double. Mike Peters open, spare struck. 19 and 20, a couple of your leaders. Jason Rook in game number 5, bowled 251. Moves himself to plus 139. He's bowled games of 202, 233, 226, 227, and now 251 the last game. Eric Kirby sits at plus 8 with a bad start with 179, 147, and 234, 222, 226. Just going through, grabbing some score sheets here as I make my way through the concourse. Out of camera range, down on 23 and 24. Troy Fuller sits at plus 176 with games of 235, 224, 225, 239, 253. Pretty good bowling by Troy. Shannon Buchan bowled 256 the last game to move himself to plus 91. Jason Peterson, 277 the last game. Takes him to 63 over, so this pair is bowling really well. Folks in the chat wanted an update on Jeff Riggles. His last 2 games, game number 4, he bowled 236, 211 game number 5. He's at plus 25. Aaron Ramsden, 191, 216 in his last 2 games, plus 53. Zach Bajorner sits at plus 1, and Troy Schaefer minus 4 on the Riggles pair. Zach Livingston, who was leading the tournament after 4 games at plus 156. I believe he was leading. He was up amongst the leaders. He pulled 178 the 5th game to drop himself to plus 134. Mike McCow sits at minus 42, and John Meshiker was at plus 159 after game number 4, bowling 277 that game. And in game 5, he bowled 212 to move himself to plus 171. So that's an update from around the concourse here. As I make my way back to lanes 9 and 10 and back to the booth. I want to thank all of our viewers for watching our coverage here on A Squad. Fusion Realtors, you're just joining us. B and C Squad still coming up. We're in game number 6 of 7. Maple Lanes, Waterloo, Iowa. The Fusion Realtor, a local realtor group here in Waterloo. And of course, Storm, the Bowlers Company, sponsoring the Greater Iowa Bowling Association tournaments. This one's one of the majors. And the one thing I haven't touched on yet on this broadcast, which I actually thought about on the way up, and lane number 14 reminds me, the IQ Tour Fusion. So Fusion with double meaning here this weekend, as you see. The IQ Tour Fusion, released earlier this month, one of the hottest selling bowling balls on planet Earth. And if it was available on another planet, I'm sure it would be one of the top sellers on another planet as well. We've been talking about the USBC Masters happening today over on Extra Frame. We'd like to call that our sister channel. But I think you actually have to be affiliated with them to be a sister channel. But needless to say, they're our buddies over there. So if you leave us to watch the USBC Masters, we can't blame you. But there is a such thing as having multiple tabs open in a browser. Mute them and listen to me. I know that's what you want to do. It's getting to be about lunchtime, so I'm starting to lose it. I figured out what the smell was in this building that was smelling so good. It's cheese garlic bread, toasted garlic bread. I think that's going to be in the cards for me in my near future. Between A and B squads today. It was last year where we interviewed Jason Belmonte on the phone when en route to victory. So if Belmo makes the show, I'm sure we can get him back on today. It's kind of an omen. Good karma. And it looks like our event information tabs have been updated. A squad through game number 5. Let's take a look at the standings. In first position, Dave Gerst leads at plus 187. Second is Mike Peters at plus 177. Third, Troy Fuller at plus 176. Fourth is Scott Rains at plus 174. And in fifth, John Messiker at plus 171. Followed by Jason Rook, Zach Livingston, Darren Galbraith, Chris Freeman, and Andy Below. Andy sits at plus 114. The 20th spot is at plus 62 through 5 games, and that is Jason Peterson. 2 games to go. You're watching game number 6, about halfway through game number 6. You're watching lanes 5 and 6 and 13 and 14 of this 32-lane bowling center here called Maple Lanes. And if you've ever seen the movie Rain Man, Raymond Babbitt likes to have maple syrup on the table when he orders his pancakes. Also sharing a birthday today with Tom Doherty, fellow St. Louis friend of mine, Don Griffin's birthday today. Happy birthday to Don. In other news of birthdays, since I'm on Facebook, tomorrow, Matt Cantanzero's 35th birthday tomorrow. We've got a grab bag of scores here around. A lot of players I'm not too familiar with, but I'm sure as the weekend goes on, I'm going to become more and more familiar with some of these players, as 60 will advance till tomorrow on this 2.3 to 1 ratio 39-foot oil pattern. $60 will cash. 53 bowlers on this squad, and anticipated 60 bowlers on the next 2 squads. Well, actually, I take that back. I believe there's 28 lanes in play, so that would be 56 a squad. But I don't know if they're not in play just because of lack of some travel problems for some people here today, so we'll keep an eye on that. I know they normally say 180, which would be 30 lanes times 3, 2 on a pair, so, or 2 on a lane, I should say. So we will wait and see once we cross that bridge. A lot of current events happening around the world here in February of 2014. We've got the Winter Olympics where Team USA We were all really excited about them, and they're competing today in a bronze medal game. Bob Costas got pink eye. Dan Patrick had to fill in for him over at the Olympics. Jay Leno has left the Tonight Show and has handed the torch off to Jimmy Fallon, in which Jimmy had a great opening week. I watched every one of those this week that I could. The uncertainty of what's next with professional bowling and the USBC and BPAA not able to put on a U.S. Open this year. BPAA, that is. And Summer Swing still not confirmed. But yet, on the bright side of entries, you've got events like this that sell out. The InsideBowling.com Open will be coming up April 25th through the 27th in St. Louis, Missouri, with a $10,000 first place prize. Details to be released any day now. Check back to Inside Bowling's Facebook page and the homepage on Inside Bowling. A recent site design with some upgrades that we'll be putting into place here shortly. And just 2 weeks ago, the True Amateur Tournaments. 50% increase in their entries. And Alex Aguiar took home $20,000 just a couple weeks ago. If you did not see that, nor the Rotogrip Challenge, where David Booger Kroll, who is supposed to bowl this event as well, won the Rotogrip Challenge and took home a cool $5,000. Those are bright spots, things that are happening. And a live television broadcast, of course, tomorrow of the USBC Masters. Let's move over to 9 and 10. 10th frame for the four bowlers on lanes 9 and 10. First shot in the 10th, working on a double on lane number 10. Possible 206 left. Bird Dog Messenger looks very similar to Patrick Allen's that he carried on the first hit in the 10th against Chris Barnes just a day ago to defeat Barnes at the Masters. That clip is out there on the USBC YouTube page. Second shot in the 10th for the bowler on lane 9. With the spare, it'll be 199 for Mocan. Jeff McCann.
Jeff McCann bowling with Ben Truig, Justin Weber, and Nathan Wright. So 199. But Justin Weber is one of the main reasons why I moved over to this pair. No relation to Pete that I know of. He sits at minus 47 coming into this game, but has opened up with 5 in a row, 7 spare, triple, possible 277 left for Weber, throwing the IQ Tour Fusion. First shot and the 10th. How in the world is he only in 43rd position at minus 47 with the look he has on lanes 9 and 10? That's what I would like to know, because he's got a really good look. .244 left for the gentleman on lane number 10. Still shoot .244. First shot in the 10th was a strike. And now the attention focuses back on Justin Weber, looking for his 3rd consecutive strike. His 5th consecutive strike. And that is 5 strikes for Justin Weber. So he's going to be in the 270s as long as he can keep it on the lane and get at least 3. So he's going to jump from minus 47 to plus 30 with a game to go. And if he could bowl another similar game to what he has bowled this game, he could bowl himself into the cut with just 2 games to go as we finish game number 6. 1 game to go will be game number 7. But with 2 games to go at minus 47 to make a run and possibly get in, we will continue to watch and see what happens to young Justin Weber. But let's finish it up here with a strike, Justin, and get yourself to plus 30. Good place for it. He improves to plus 29. Good game. Fantastic game. Take you over 5 and 6, 13 and 14. 13 and 14 have moved on. So we'll full screen 5 and 6 for you. Okay, lanes 5 and 6. Complete 183, 219, 177, 180. Take you to a wide shot of the concourse as we have no bowling. Players are moving lanes, headed into the 7th and final game of this squad. Remember, about 100 is where you're going to want to get to.
He's on 19 and 20. He's got a charcoal gray shirt on.
All right. We have got action on our lanes. 5 and 6, 13 and 14. Final game, game 7, right here. InsideBowling.com, and look who's back. It's FJ. Throwing the disturb, blower 5-pin to greet him on lanes 5 and 6. Tony Oliva here in the building comes by and says hello in the booth here. I think I am going to go out and roam and get you some updated scores as we leave the split screen on, and you have the ability to watch Justin Weber, who just came off a 276 game, see what he can do on 13 and 14. Along with Engelkiss, Rockland, and Derek Rude on lanes 5 and 6, who we started with earlier today. So we've come full circle here at Maple Lanes.
We have a Rick Miller sighting here in the building. Derek Rude, the last game, bowled 167. Takes himself to plus 79. Sure would like to have a decent game number 7. Rockland, 221 the last game, takes himself to plus 118. Joe Engelkiss sits at plus 80 after a 216 in game number 6. I didn't see Weber's shot, but looks like he's throwing in an 8-pin here. I don't know if he stoned that 8-pin or not. It's confirmed it was a run over the rack 8-pin. Rob Amers last game bowled 247, moves himself to plus 138. Dwayne Kiltz still hasn't really gotten it going. He was actually bowling better earlier in the day. 174 game number 6. He sits at plus 21. He's going to need about 8 or 9 strikes this game if he's going to make it into the cut. And he does have the first one. So that's down on 15 and 16 as I walk around here on the concourse and try to give you some insight on what's happening throughout this building. Matt Wagon, 181, continues to struggle. He's at minus 19. Mike Peters, 213 the last game. He sits at plus 190. He's got to be feeling good about where he's at. Jeff Roush, plus 46. Well, 246 the last game, 224 before that. A 240 game here would probably put him into tomorrow's top 60. And Scott Rains sits at plus 216 after bowling 242 the last game. Rains continues to roll.
Shannon Buchan bowled 198 the last game, sits at plus 89. Troy Fuller, 235, moves himself to plus 211. Jason Peterson, 161 after his 277, so he's only about 20 over. Brandon Steen sits at plus 8 after bowling 180 the last game. And I've made my way down to lanes 29 and 30 where Zach, Jeff, Aaron, and Mr. Schaefer are bowling. Jeff bowled 232 game number 6. It's a plus 57, so he's going to need about 240 this game, in my opinion, to make it in. Zach Bajorner bowled 246 the last game to get to plus 47. Troy Schaefer 202 to get to plus 2. Or minus 2, I apologize. And Aaron Ramsden sits at plus 64. So Ramsden, Riggles, Bajorner all right there. Riggles is open with a double. Ramsden spare, strike. Zach missed the 10 pin and then struck, so 240 games down here would be good for these guys. And they are all the way down on the end pair on lanes 29 and 30 in this 32-lane bowling center, just using 30 lanes here today. So Riggles flat 10s in the third. And I'm going to step away from this pair. Just gives you an idea of what's going on. They need 240s. Looks like Justin Weber struck on lane 13, now up on lane 14 after Stone 8-pin. The first frame just came off at 276, moved himself to plus 29. And to be quite honest, I think he's possible. He could go off the sheet. He's got such a good look with that IQ Tour Fusion. So we keep an eye on what he's doing. Lanes 5 and 6, Brocklin 9 spare, 8 spare strike. And Derek Rude now back striking now that he's moved back down to this end of the building. As we bring you continuing coverage of the 2014 Fusion Realtors Open. Here at Maple Lanes, Waterloo, Iowa, Mike Flanagan here with you. We're watching lanes 5 and 6 and lanes 13 and 14 of this opening A squad. B and C squads yet to follow today. We're in game number 7 of 7. After this, we'll take a break. We'll come back, bring you B squad of guests throughout the day joining us on the broadcast. If you want to check the standings, go down below while you're watching it live on InsideBowling.tv. Select from the drop-down menu. It says Event Information. You can see who's entered in the event and standings through game number 5. Through game number 6 will be up shortly. As once again, we are in game number 7. My prediction, somewhere around 100 will be safe to make it in. Lots of bowlers in the 40s and 50 ranges. If they were to shoot 240 games, I believe they would make the cut to tomorrow's top 60. 60 will cash from all 3 squads. All 3 squads combined, that is. Joe Engelke is still throwing the bite in the Mike Fagan jersey. Now, Justin Weber, John Brocklin up at the same time. Weber, 290 max score through 4 frames. Brocklin looking for 4 in a row, half tens. And Weber now 9 pin. So 269 left for Weber. I'm rooting for him. Maybe he'll win the tournament. Oh, welcome Ahmed into the chat when I was out walking around. Saw a couple bowlers smiling. Are they supposed to be having any fun out here? No, that's what this tournament here is all about. Not only is it a demanding condition, not only is it a good payout, but it's a fun and relaxed, easygoing atmosphere ran by professional tournament organizers. Great sponsors, clean bowling center. Portions of the proceeds of all of the sales and the food and beverage from this weekend all go back into the tournament. Pretty good event. Certainly is a pretty good event. And I'm happy to be here with you. Mike Flanagan here from InsideBowling.com. Storm Bowling Products. Flying solo in the booth for now. I haven't done a block by myself in a while. It's nice having Brian here though too, because I get to see some upgrades and some things that we've been looking into from having the equipment out on the road. Much more relaxed when Brian's around. Except when he starts wanting to unplug a bunch of cables when he can't get stuff to work. He didn't have his earpiece in, so that's what makes it even funnier. Now Brocklin, does he half 10 again? Yep, sure does. John, time for a ball change or hand position change or different ball or something, buddy. Need something to store a little bit more. I would say a gold ball right now for him would be the right ball in his hand. Maybe a wrecker. Maybe an uproar. But 2 pin for our man Justin Weber, who now has 258 left. That'd get him to 87 or so. It's going to be close. I think 100's safe. I think 100's going to be safe. Oh, look at Engelkiss. Just gives it the old little hornswoggle. You know, that's just called living right. Little clean living, you get a hit like that once in a while. Supposed to bowl C squad, so he get his tournament ran today. People call in, so he just bowls A. He's got 237 left. Joe does. Now FJ 7-10s. Okay, so we've been watching this here. He flat 10'd, now he's 7-10s. So in this position, in my opinion, you got to get this bowling ball out of your hand. I don't care what you think is safe or not safe. He's got 2 frames to go, and I truly believe that at this point, you got to take the bowling ball out of your hand, or you have to like 1 and 1 to the right and jam it in there or something. It's going to be interesting to see what he does after going flat 10, 7-10. His ball reaction is not getting any better. And he clearly is repeating shots if he's going half 10, 7-10. So it's not a execution issue at all. I mean, right now he's kind of like Throwbot. So this is going to be. I know John's approach usually is playing it safe and hitting the 1-3, especially with 2 games left in a block where he's in the cut line. So he might be happy with half 10, and bowl 203 the last game. Looks like he's making some sort of tape adjustment to his ball. Talking about John Brockland, Storm and Rotogrip Pro Shop staffer representing Rayors Pro Shop out of St. Louis, a good friend of mine. Last year this same weekend, he bowled the USBC Masters because he won the state tournament, all events. Made match play, bowled John Zerbinski and beat him, bowled Nathan Bohr and beat him, and then lost to Wes Malott and Tommy Jones to finish 17th at the Masters last year, and chose to come bowl this tournament instead of taking the entire week off, and decided to come bowl this event, and we've got him here in our field. So lane number 5 will full screen, actually, FJ. And let's see what he does now. Same ball in his hand, half 10, 7-10. Oh, and look at the light mixer. So to me, it looked like a little bit harder, a little bit left or right. Just kind of hit him thin, watch him spin. And that's exactly what happened as he's grinding out the end of his block. Still a possible 223 left. So we'll keep an eye on that. Got to say hello to John Jensen joining us in the chat. And JJ, man, I know you probably feel like I have no time for you whatsoever, but the stuff we got to talk about is big picture stuff. And Joe Engelkiss with a light tickler there for a triple and a Turk. But we will get together, buddy. Just hang in there and don't shoot me. Tell you what could get you added higher on my list is a TJ Oshie autographed Team USA jersey. That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm just kidding. It's not going to get you any higher on the list, but you should just do it because you like me and I like you. JJ, the DJ, watching IB today. A lot of letters. His parents, very good friends with TJ Oshie, the Team USA hockey player that was trending very high on Twitter earlier last week, and a St. Louis Blues player, my favorite hockey team from St. Louis. Well, my favorite hockey team is what I should have said. They just happen to be from St. Louis, where I'm from. So now here, full screen, 5 and 6, FJ. Flat 10, 7-10, light mixer. And now it doesn't even make it to the head pin. So he's going to learn from this. He's going to learn that this ball right now in his hand, and that was poorly executed, but it's in his brain now. The whole carry issue was in his brain. That ball just started giving up towards the end of this game. And he'll watch this back, and he'll learn from it. He'll want to watch it. He watched all of his broadcasts back, and wouldn't surprise me if he picks this here, and he won't make a ball change because it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, there's the pick, and then he should try another ball. I mean, just for his own satisfaction of knowing when this happens tomorrow, when he makes the cut, what he needs to do, or if he sees this ball reaction, what he should do in the future. So to me, I feel this is a mistake if he doesn't make a ball change, but I also understand it's the last ball of a 7-game block. I haven't been out there grinding on this 2.3 to 1 ratio, 39-foot oil pattern. He's had a great block. He's bowled well. So he's going to stick with the asylum and try to make the best shot he can here and knock them all down and bowl 203. And he stone eights. So great shot, but again, cannot knock them all down. And I talk to a lot of the pros these days, and if you're throwing bowling balls down the lane, it doesn't matter how well they're shaping into the pocket with the human eye. If they're not knocking them all down and you feel like you're making good shots, you have to put a different piece of equipment in your hand with especially the top to bottom lineup that Storm and Rotogrip have, which John is part of. So now here's Derek Rood. He's going to finish with 182, and he started out really well today, but he is not going to make this cut. Standings after game number 6 have been updated down below 15 minutes ago. And as I take that back, Derek Rood was at plus 79 coming into this game. So when he bowls 180 the last game, 182, that's 18 from that. That puts him at plus 61. I don't think that's going to be enough. Joe Engelkiss was at plus 80, and he bowled 223 on this left pair. As we full screen lanes 13 and 14. Our man Justin Weber can still shoot 246. He's at plus 29. That would take him to 75 over, which I don't think will be enough. And not striking on this double here. It's still a great last 2 games he's put together. 276 last game. And 215 is the best score he can bowl this particular game. So coming down to it, last game here, last frames, Fusion Realtors Open at Maple Lanes. Brought to you by Storm, the Bowlers Company, and a plethora of other sponsors, including Inside Bowling, Rydell Chevrolet, P&K Midwest, John Deere dealership, Kingpin Bar and Grill here at Maple Lanes, Budweiser and Bud Light, the Isle Casino and Hotel, beautiful establishment, we're staying there, and the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau. Now Weber on his fill. He'll take it. And before I do wrap this broadcast up, I will step out and give you a Ramsden-Riggles pair update. Riggles and Ramsden and them are down on 29 and 30. There's Dave Barris sighting here in the house. Cameron Foster sighting as I walk down the concourse. As I mentioned earlier, Rick Miller is here. Aaron Ramsden, 255 the last game. Jeff Riggles, 209. 193 for Zach Bajorner. So Ramsden's going to be in the cut. And Riggles shoots 209 the last game. He's going to be at about plus 50. And in my opinion, based off of the scores of this squad, and if you were to duplicate them and throw them out there on the other lanes, or on the other squads, I should say, the same scores. That will not be enough to make it. Now, I don't know squad equality and all that good stuff, but in my opinion, that's not going to be enough. Brett Cooper siding. That will not be enough. Barring some sort of catastrophic happening or something very unusual or abnormal, Jeff Riggles will not make the cut. You got it, Sherry. I will let Rick Miller know that you say hello. B squad will begin at 1:30. The time is now 12:46. So in about 45 minutes, B squad will take place. Bring it back into the booth. Mike Flanagan here with you. I appreciate you joining me this morning for this coverage here at the Fusion Realtors Tournament here in Waterloo, Iowa. Hope you're enjoying bowling today. Also, on the PBA's Extra Frame, the online bowling channel, they have the USBC Masters being highlighted today with a ESPN telecast tomorrow. It's been enjoyable bringing you this coverage this morning. 7 games of this A squad. And as we predict, somewhere between 80 to 100 is going to be the number the bowlers are going to want to get to in all 3 of these squads, A, B, and C squads. This squad was a little light. There wasn't as many bowlers in this particular squad due to some travel arrangements. Some difficulty getting here from Minnesota, I was told. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on this 2.3 to 1 ratio 39-foot oil pattern as they re-oil for B squad. We'll be back with you in about 45 minutes here from Maple Lanes. Don't forget Fusion Realtors Open 2014 brought to you by Storm and all the other great sponsors that we have here. Joe Engelkiss and his crew doing a great job as always, and we appreciate you joining us today. We'll be back with B Squad in about 45 minutes. I'll take you out to the lanes and a little bit of music as we return for more coverage and more guests. Jeff Riggles is going to join us during B Squad. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for watching.